Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C. Super excited to have you here again, joining us with another amazing guest where we bring entrepreneurs to come here and share their story, share their struggles, their pains, their triumphs, everything that they went through to live in their purpose on purpose, whether good or bad, and whatever we go through, you're definitely going to get gems here that are going to lead you in the right direction to either make a decision, make a choice, or take action. You're definitely going to be empowered and inspired today by this very guest. Before we go and introduce him to our show here, we are going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, Jose Escobar with the Connected Leaders Academy, Patrick Rude with the Dirty Little Secret Society, as well as Julie and Noah with Breathe Capital Planning. If you want to know anything about BALM Global and our partners or sponsors, definitely connect with us in www.buildingaleadershipmindset.com, where we have all the goods, all the information, and you can get access to all our guest podcast recordings under our podcast section and get to our YouTube channel. All good stuff here. We are super excited again to bring to you this amazing gentleman, which I've only known for maybe less than 30 days, but he has made a huge impact just because I jumped on a call with the CLA and heard him speak and share his story. And I was absolutely attached and aligned with what he has to offer. So I had to invite him here on our show and make sure he brings his knowledge and wisdom. And again, to give our audience and our listeners some amazing new tools and new perspectives of getting to the next level. So without further ado, we have Brian Kurian here. He's blending sales and copywriting teachings. Brian offers personalized mentorship and entrepreneur to any entrepreneur who is interested in increasing their sales of their products and services, which should be every single business owner out there. So that is all of us. Even if you're an inspiring entrepreneur, sales is key. Brian owns Brian Kurian's Business Services LLC, which provides copywriting and sales training to entrepreneurs. He graduated from Central Michigan University, with a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship has been something Brian has been passionate about ever since he was a little boy, from running lemonade stands to owning a writing coaching business to coaching other entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurial spirit was very much always been alive inside of Brian. Most salespeople don't know the fundamentals of copywriting. On the flip side, many copywriters don't know the fundamentals of selling. However, where both of these professions and skills set across paths, it's exactly where you can find Brian. He is right in the middle of that. He's spent a lifetime learning sales methodologies and copywriting best practices. Brian has experience with ghostwriting, blogging, freelancing, writing, copywriting, coaching. He has worked in various industries and gotten results for his clients because of the versatility and depth of knowledge he brings to the table revolving around sales and copywriting. So without further ado, let me get my new friend out here and new family member of the BALM Global family here at Building a Leadership Mindset Podcast. Brian, how are you?
Hey, thanks so much, Nikki, for the warm introduction. I appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words. Hello, everyone. To everyone out there that's watching, excited to be here. Excited to offer some insights and guidance, and hopefully some value on this episode. So thanks so much for having me. Thanks for the opportunity. Excited to be here.
Absolutely excited to have you here because, like I said, I did hear your story and I truly meant where it said it moved me, and even in our conversation. But let's start at the beginning. Let's give us a little bit and share about your background and how your journey has shaped your leadership mindset.
Yeah, terrific question. I'm glad we're leading with this. So I definitely give a lot of credit to my parents, my family in general. My parents, probably like yours as well, they're immigrants. My family immigrated to the Metro Detroit area, originally from South India. So that's my culture. I'm South Indian. My sister and I, we were really lucky. We, had two very stable, very strong parents in our house. We both grew up in the Metro Detroit area, first generation, born and raised in Michigan. And from an early age, I saw what hard work looks like, what sacrifice looks like, what having to think quickly on your feet looked like, what having to adapt to a new culture, new society, new everything. My parents didn't have much when they came here, so we leaned heavily on family, for support. We had to learn how to ingratiate ourselves, in a different community. We had to find our tribe, so to speak, and I watched them do that every single day. I'm really lucky. So, I take a lot of that with me. I've always been like super entrepreneurial. I'm actually like the only entrepreneur of my whole family. So I tried to blaze my own path. I've worked for corporate America for a long time, almost 2 decades. I've also worked for like 6 different startup companies. Sales has been the bread and butter of what I've done for a long time. So I've done that for probably like 17, 18 years now, basically almost 2 decades. And then in addition to that, over the last 5 or 6 years, I've gotten very heavily involved in copywriting. So some of the things you mentioned regarding copywriting coaching, blogging, freelance writing, ghostwriting, I've done a lot with that. And then along the way, I've done a lot of sales training, managing my own sales teams, things of that nature. In the last 2.5 years or so, I've been laid off like 3 different times from different companies that I mentioned to you, during our first conversation. A part of like workforce reductions, downsizing, all this stuff that was very much out of my control. This last time that it happened, it was finally like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. It was my wake up call where I just decided, hey, I have all these skills. I'm doing all these things for all of these other folks at their company, making them fairly wealthy. Why don't I take these skills and apply it and control more of my own destiny, as scary as that looks? I've had businesses in the past. I've had side hustles. I've had my writing coaching business. I've just felt like now it was time to go all in on this beautiful business idea that I had and serve more people, just for me, just for me and my family, and take a little bit more control over the reins, and not wake up to a random Zoom meeting on my calendar notifying me no longer have.
Yes. Oh my goodness, so much to unpack, so powerful.
Yeah.
I just want to start really quick. Being first generation American from India here, and being able to adapt to a new society, a new culture. Tell us if there was some challenges in that, making friends, fitting in, was it a great experience, or was there some challenges, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm one of those people. I have the mindset now that I'm a little older in life, where I don't think anything was necessarily that it was good or bad per se. It just was. It's what happened to me. So it's all about how I am able to respond to it or not respond to it, and that's on me. And I need to hold myself accountable for that. So to answer the question, I think a lot of it was there was a lot of positives. Growing up the way I did, I was really lucky. I was really privileged. A lot of the people that I grew up with didn't get to grow up the way I did. We never really had much, I would say, in the sense of like material things. That never really was like all that important to my parents, myself included. But growing up, like my dad, we had my uncle on my dad's side, and we had my dad's 2 sisters that all lived like relatively close to us. So I got to spend a lot of time with my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. It was very much a village. It was a tribe. It was a community. We all chipped in. We all supported each other. We all helped each other. The church that I was a part of and basically grew up in for the first 26 years of my life, it was an all South Indian church. So there was our community, right? Everyone there, in essence, like had the same culture as us, spoke the same language, had the same customs. So a lot of my friends in that world were similar to me, similar background. Their parents immigrated here from the same state in same state called Kerala in South India. And so there was that. But then when you go to school and you're around a lot of people who don't look like you, don't come from the same part of the world, they're not first generation like you, their parents are from a different place, or what have you. There were definitely challenges there. I always like to think I was unique. I brought something special to the table because of my background and my experience, but it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. I will share this with you. In 7th and 8th grade, especially, my family moved like 3 miles away from our old house. We moved to a different community when I was 11. So towards the end of 6th grade, up until 6th grade, everything was pretty good. Unfortunately, I was getting into a lot of fights at school for like just various things. So I had to deal with like a lot of disciplinary stuff because of that. A lot of it was like, little bits and pieces of like harassment and bullying that was going on with some of my people that were in my school. 7th and 8th grade, especially, it was horrific. I got bullied all the time, because of my skin color, my culture, I mean, back then, and maybe even to this day, like you can pretty much find anything to make fun of someone about. So that was a lot of the stuff that I had to deal with. I had very low self-esteem, very low self-confidence because of that. And after 8th grade, especially, I had to really learn. And I was a very small kid too. I was in 7th grade. I think I was like 4'7". I maybe weighed like 110 pounds, 115 pounds. I was a really tiny kid. I was always like one of the smallest kids in our school. So there was that too. I got picked on because of that. I was just an easy target, so I was very quiet at that time, if you can believe it. I was very shy. A lot of it was because of the stuff that I was dealing with. So I had to really kind of rebuild myself in 9th grade, and then especially high school. I started getting back to who I used to be, is what I say. I became outgoing again. I started opening up to people. I started trying really hard to make new friends, not just trying to fit in, because I was friends with pretty much everybody of like every different group, but just showing people that like I belonged, in my own way. I started working out. I started lifting weights. I started packing on some muscle, feeling better about myself, building that self-confidence, rebuilding not just my physical appearance again, because that wasn't everything, but rebuilding who I was internally. Had to really like strengthen my mindset as well, so I can make sure I was okay, with just my life. And then from there, I went to community college. I was very lost during those times. I didn't really know what exactly I wanted to do with my life. I kept saying I'm going to own a business someday, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what type of business that I was going to own. And I went away to Central Michigan University to learn about entrepreneurship. They were the only school that actually offered entrepreneurship as a major. So that's why.
Seen that. I seen that. When I read it, I was like surprised. I'm like, what? There's a thing, but go ahead.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, that's where I felt like I belonged, and so went there, learned about entrepreneurship, picked up as a major. Marketing was my minor, fell in love. And I loved the school. I loved the campus. It was 2.5 hours away from where my parents were. So I got to grow up, get a small taste of freedom, become an adult, figure a lot of things out the hard way. And it really set me on the path for, who I am today. The understanding the power of networking, building community, hard work, resiliency, finding creative ways to succeed in business, finding ways to be useful to people and offer value, learning that self-sufficiency side of things, but at the same time, understanding that life is very much a team sport. It's a lot more fun when you have others to enjoy the game with, that are supporting you and cheering for you, and vice versa. I think the people that feel like it's lonely at the top, I feel like they're alone because they never bothered to extend a helping hand and lift anyone else up with them. That's why they're standing on the mountaintop by themselves. That's just
so powerful.
It's just my opinion.
So powerful. So much to unpack there. Going through the stages in life that we call, right? The adolescence, the figuring out who we are, what we want, what is our identity, what is our purpose, why are we here? That all starts at a very young age. Even if we don't know it, there's still questions. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of conversation with parents about that to even guide them to start picking and choosing and making decisions early. And I love that you knew you always had this entrepreneurship and spirit, and it was in your blood, and you were going to do it. You had your first lemonade business, right?
Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah, I was so proud of it too. Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, at what age was that, and how
Yeah.
long did it last? And what did you learn about yourself just then?
Oh man, yeah. I think I was maybe like 6 or 7. I was just a little kid. I didn't know anything about anything, but I knew that in the neighborhood that I grew up in at that time, it was very special. Most of my friends, their parents were immigrants too. It was a very like simple, humble neighborhood, very tight knit community. We all kind of knew each other and hung out, and all the kids were friends, and the parents knew each other, and we'd hang out at each other's like barbecues and stuff. And it was very much a village and a community. We kind of all raised each other and got through this thing called life together, especially our early childhood. My best friend in the whole world, he went to my church as well. His parents, same culture, same everything. His name's Tony. This kid literally grew up in the house that was like right behind mine, so like diagonally behind mine. So we would always like jump the fence to each other's house to go play and hang out and do sleepovers. And his mom, God bless her. Again, I'm very lucky, right? Like, as I tell all these stories, it's hard not to get emotional. But I mean, like, who gets to grow up like this? His mom was such a saint. I still think very, very highly of her. I think about her all the time, and his dad too. She used to drive us to school. She used to pick us up every day and bring us home. I ate a lot of meals there. She was kind of like a second mom to me, So, man, yeah, it's hard. It's like wild to go back and think over all this stuff. But even with those lemonade stands, like I had, we'd open up different stands throughout the neighborhood and just see like what parts of the neighborhood we could get more get more customers, make a couple extra dollars for the day during the summertime. There was a park right by our house too, so we'd like take the money that we would make and like jump on our bike and go to the convenience store that was like the party store that was like 2 miles away, get snacks or drinks or something like that, and come back and go play at the park together and hang out. And I just remember how happy I was to be with my friends, to have done something just for us, like something together, like as a team. And then the reward, sure, it was like the $2 we made for the day, or the $10 or the $20, whatever we made for the day or the week, we would share it. And just being able to share in that little bit of success as a kid, and feeling the freedom of like being on your bike and going to the store and feeling proud of what you got to accomplish, and that you didn't have to ask your mom and dad for it. You didn't have to beg anybody for it. You didn't have to do anything for anybody else for it besides like what you were able to accomplish on your, by yourself and with your friends. I think there was something really special about that. Again, I know it was just a lemonade stand. I know it's like such a minor, trivial thing, but the feelings that were attached with like what we were doing, with that stayed with me forever. And I still feel like that, I still feel that way today, even with the clients that I help. Like when I see them get success in their business, write a great piece of copy because of something I taught them, or a framework I taught them, or, earning extra money from their clients because they're finding ways to take them up their value ladder, or they're customizing different programs and packages, finding their ways to be successful in their business. And I had my small little part to play in that. Seeing the joy that it brings them, it's like the ultimate for me, because it's the same way I used to feel when I had those lemonade stands. And now, I mean, I'm playing a different game. The rules are a little bit different. The stakes are definitely much higher, obviously, because for these people, these businesses, myself too, my business, it's what takes care of ourselves and our families. It's not just something we're doing for fun, or we're giving it our best shot, or something that we're passionate about. It's genuinely like what helps me support my son. And for this person, it might be what helps her support her husband, or, what have you. So there's a different level of accountability now, right? But the joy that I get from it, and the feeling that I get from it, and the pride that I take in my work, it's been the same for 30 years. Like nothing's changed in that sense. So it's just a more serious game that we're playing now.
That's amazing. But no, I don't think that that's minor at all. Like that's something that you decided to do with your friend, and you made it work. You created something special that was going to actually flourish into your future. You just didn't know what it was going to look like. So you started very, very early, which I believe that our next generation needs to be well prepared
Yep.
for these types of things. Like it's phenomenal how, and even going through your journey and listening through your journey with, being lost, in college and not really knowing what direction, and going through the things you went through, right? Let's go back to a little bit about the bullying and how that can totally
Sure.
stop us
Mm-hmm.
from even moving forward, because I know a lot of people that still suffer with it today, and they have all these hopes and dreams, and they just feel like they're not worthy
Mm-hmm.
to even obtain them, to even take the step forward, to take them. Now, again, a huge subject that needs to continue to be a talking point in schools and different things like that. And I have a two-part question. I'm going to start first with going through all that and really shaping and saying, you know what, this is not the life I want to live. I want to get my power back. I'm going to start stepping into my purpose and stuff. Did that also translate to bullying in the workplace? Have you witnessed that in
Yeah.
corporate as well? Because we always talk about bullying as a child,
Yeah.
but bullying as being bullied as an adult, and we also bully ourselves. What are your thoughts on those types of things?
Yeah. It's difficult to talk about, but it's necessary. I absolutely have witnessed workplace bullying, workplace harassment, sexual harassment, all sorts of disgusting behaviors. And a lot of times, or the majority of the time, it was from the person that was in charge or the person that owned the company or what have you. And my opinion, based on my experiences, is that you end up getting treated. I found this out the hard way with myself. You end up getting treated the way or in the ways that you allow other people to treat you. When there's no sense of boundary, when there's no sense of self-respect, self-confidence, self-worth, those of us that are astute enough will pick up on that, and they will take advantage of that. Not everybody that you come across, I hate to say it, but it's true, not everybody that you come across is a good person. They don't have integrity. They don't have ethics, especially in corporate America, especially in a lot of startups I've worked at. You will get treated as something or a commodity that is just there to make them money. And so if there are issues with your performance, or there are issues with your self-confidence, your self-worthiness, your ability to stand up for yourself and set proper boundaries and communicate and articulate those boundaries effectively and appropriately, professionally as well, it's going to start causing issues 9 times out of 10 by someone who is above you and feels entitled to treat you that way because it's their company, it's their show, it's their team, it's their department, what have you. And if you don't nip it in the bud right away, that type of behavior will absolutely continue to snowball, and it will get worse. I've seen it. I've experienced it. It's not just something I read about in a book or something I heard about. It's happened to me, and it's happened to people I've worked with. Hence, why I don't work for anybody else anymore. This is a big reason why I do my own thing, and I have my own business now, because I don't have to put up with that nonsense anymore, or those politics, or the red tape, or the walking on eggshells, and being careful of what you say and who you say it to, and not wanting to ruffle any feathers, or just not wanting to get taken advantage of or treated like garbage, which I think everyone should be entitled to. You should all be treated well and with respect and dignity. I don't think that's too much to ask for, but apparently with some people it is. Because that's not how you're going to get treated. So those same kids that were bullying me in 7th and 8th grade, if nobody checks that behavior, if nobody holds them accountable, again, this is one of the reasons why I got into so many fights. That's how we handled our business back in the day, right? Like I didn't go crying to my parents. I didn't tell the principal. I didn't tell my teachers because I knew nothing would come of it. You kind of had to look out for yourself. I'm not condoning violence. I'm not saying it's okay to fight. I'm just saying that's how we took care of it.
I mean, it's the true, honest, hot, transparent call that I say here. I mean, we did what we did. Those are choices in the past.
Yeah.
All we knew what we do. So no need to apologize for that. And we're definitely not condoning that. But, sometimes we just get fed up as a child. And
yeah. And sometimes, you ask people for help and no one bothers to do it. And so there comes a point in every kid's life, I tell all my clients this, I tell everybody I meet that's willing to listen, there comes a point in every young man and young woman's life where You get to choose the courageous path, or you get to choose the cowardly path. It's up to you. There have been many instances in my life where I could have just sat there and taken it, and it would have been totally acceptable. It was probably what was expected, whether it was when I was getting bullied or when I was getting treated like garbage at some of these jobs. It's up to you. You know, you can do something about it, or you can sit there and continue to let it happen. It's up to you. I'm a firm believer that confidence, which is something I don't think I lack these days, but true confidence, supreme confidence, is not something you can manufacture. It's not something you can conjure up, you know, in your mind without actual evidence and data and facts that back up that you are who you actually say you are. Have you done the thing that you tell clients you can do? Have you actually gotten results? If you haven't, okay, what type of training or up-leveling or skills do you need to acquire? Because it's not going to be easy. Like, I've had to spend almost 2 decades learning the sales stuff, and I'm still learning new things today of how to improve and how to do things better, because I'm obsessed with being one of the best, right? I want to be as good as I can, because then I can offer more value to my clients. Right now I'm the star of the show. It's me doing everything. So I can only offer what I know. I can only teach you what I've actually learned and actually done for myself. If I don't know it, I can't train you on it. So I have to be the very best version of myself every day. There's no other way, you know, for me. So, you know, if you're lacking that confidence because you haven't done the thing that you wish you could have, you can get the training, you can get skills, you can get the coaching, you can find a mentor. I've had to do it several times in my life. You know, again, my parents didn't have a bunch of money. We didn't have the greatest network or the greatest resources. We had to figure it out, you know? And so get those skills, get that training, do whatever it takes to get yourself to that point where now you are that person that you say you are. And then you'll be confident. You'll be supremely confident. No one's going to be able to easily shake that or rattle you, because you've already proven yourself worthy, right? So that doesn't have anything to do with the affirmations you say in the mirror or the books you read or the things that you tell yourself. It's based on the results. It's based on the actual actions that back up, you know, your words. My dad growing up was very much like a man of little words most of the time, but I mean, he backed it up. All you had to do was watch how he lived and the way he treated other people and how hard that man worked, you know, at his jobs. He didn't really have to say much, you know, right. That was so much more powerful than him wasting his breath telling me that, you know, hard work is important or that it's important to have a work ethic. He showed me that every single day, you know, so that's how I try to be, you know, even to this day.
I love it. I love it. This has been so good. And we are going to actually take a break real quick, listen to our sponsors, and we are going to get into the meat and potatoes of what copyright is and everything that Brian wants to share with us. So definitely get your pens and papers out because this is some good stuff. So we'll be right back. Just 1 second.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JASCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Hello. Welcome back. We are with Brian here. Met him through the Connected Leaders Academy, again with Jose Escobar. Absolutely phenomenal, amazing community, just bringing just great entrepreneurs together just right here. This is living proof of continuous connection and just support in everything that we do. So let's talk about these fundamentals of copywriting and sales, right? What is the difference and how do they work together?
Yeah, I love this question. So copywriting in essence, Nikki, and for everyone in the audience that's watching, copywriting in essence is the art of writing messaging or creating marketing-oriented messaging that is intended to persuade your ideal clients or your potential buyer, whoever, to take an action. So it's marketing and sales oriented messaging or materials. Let me give you an example, right? When you see a ad on Facebook, for example, of a product or service, and then there's some spokesperson that's trying to describe the value of that product or service, why you should sign up, why you should buy the product, what have you. You see the little messaging there describing that product and, you know, how it's so cool, or it's on a, you know, special discount for this time only. It's a special promo, or it's perfect for this type of person. And they're trying to get you to buy that product or sign up for that webinar or what have you. That is copywriting. That person is probably deploying some sort of copywriting framework, or that company is, or copywriting strategies to get you, the viewer of that ad, to convert, go into that ad, sign up for that service, or buy that product, or go to that seminar, register for that webinar, what have you. Copywriting is one of the most essential skills that any entrepreneur can learn. Most of us have never learned it because many times it's not taught in school. Never learned it in college. I had to go and I had, most of our audience people probably can say, you know, raise their hand too. I had to find it online. I stumbled across it when I started my blog. Then I started, you know, taking out copywriting courses. I got a job as a copywriting coach so I can get on the job training with real students, real clients, learn how this stuff is valuable, learn how I can actually teach it at a high level. It was for a high ticket business coaching company. And then I became master coach there. So I had to teach sales, copywriting, digital marketing, all this stuff for these students that were paying quite a bit of money to begin our 3-month mentorship program where I was the main coach. It's everything. Now, I like to think that I picked it up probably a little bit quicker than a lot of folks because I had done sales for so long. So understanding the sales mentality, but the persuasion mindset, the human behavior, human psychology, buyer behavior, that sort of thing, that all resonated with me already. I had so much training on it already that I realized, oh my God, copywriting is basically selling, but not in a verbal sense like what I had been doing for all this time. It's selling in the written form. I have to be able to convince people and articulate my thoughts in the written manner because they might not get to meet me face to face or do a call like this. So I have to express my thoughts and my personality and the value that I can bring in words. Wow, that's really challenging. That's pretty difficult to do, but it's obviously very valuable. I need to learn this skill. And so I worked really hard to marry the two of them.
Yeah. And you, when we spoke, it was like something that you felt that it was necessary for you to excel and to be able to provide even a higher level of value for your clients and, you know, mentees and things like that. So tell us, what was the biggest, share one of the success stories of someone that didn't know copywriting, but they embraced it just like you did.
Oh, I'm very, very fortunate. Again, I have several of those, but I'll say one in particular. When I was at that high ticket business coaching company, this was probably almost 3 years ago, working as a master coach. I had one student, shout out to Karina. I always talk about her. She was one of my best students in every sense of the word. But Karina killed it. She was a mental health therapist, still is mental health therapist. She had just started working to try to figure out how to scale her business to like be able to charge more for her packages or services. She was kind of struggling to get clients. Everything she was doing was very, very like low ticket, so to speak. And she just didn't know how to bridge the gap of, hey, I know what I'm doing is super valuable. I'm about to finish grad school. I want to do this business full time. How can I get it to the point where it can actually sustain me and my lifestyle and take care of me? Because right now it can't. How do I do that? She didn't even know what copywriting was. She never had sales training before. She's very, very raw in that sense, but very hardworking, great human being, always was a wonderful listener. Anytime you asked her to do something or you taught her a strategy, she would implement it right away. She wouldn't make excuses. She would jump out of her comfort zone and dive right into the deep end of the pool every time, because she just wanted to be successful. She just wanted to be able to serve her clients at the highest level. In the 3 months I was with her, she went from maybe making like a couple $100s a month in her business to she ended up earning over $20,000 from revenue in her business, from the packages we created, the sales training she got from me, the copywriting coaching that she got. She came to all my copywriting clinics, my coaching clinics. She absolutely killed it. And she still is doing so well in that business. She refers people to me all the time. We still keep in touch. She's a wonderful person. We're very much friends. But she is living proof that if you understand copywriting and you apply it strategically and effectively, and also the sales side, and if you can marry those two, you can absolutely kill it. It's not an overnight thing. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to practice, to implement and do, but you can do it. I do this stuff every single day in my own business. I do all of my own organic lead gen, which I teach clients on too. But it's just me. There's no team of people that's helping me with this stuff. If I didn't have these skills, how would I be able to do these things in my business? I'd have to find the money, which I may or may not have, to go and pay people who have these skills to do it for me. Or I do it all on my own and get mediocre results because I don't have the necessary skills. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Either you do it on your own and you don't get the results you want, or you go and spend money that you may or may not have. You probably don't have. Most of us don't. I don't. To go and pay people to do these things for you. And then why would they care as much about your business as you do? It's not their business. So whether they get the results that you're hoping for or not, a lot of folks, as long as they're getting money from you, And how would you know if they're actually performing or not? You've never done their type of work. You don't have their type of experience or their skill set. So now how do you manage those expectations? How would you actually be happy with what they're doing for you anyways? And you're the one that has to pay for it all. These are the types of things that we teach. This is why these skills are incredibly necessary. And once you harness them and you learn them, then you know how to find the right type of people that you can outsource this type of work to, because you'll know what to look for, because you had to do it yourself.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So much good stuff. What's her name? Karina?
Karina. Yeah. Last name's Gutierrez.
Congratulations for stepping in and just saying, hey, teach me, and being that sponge, because that's what this is the whole point of having like their person, right? Each of us have our person that can help us excel in different areas of our lives. And what do you think about having coaches? Like, you're a coach, right? So do you have coaches as well? And how important is it for individuals to really kind of step into or be open to it? Because I know without a coach, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Like, I was able to really soak this all up in less than 8 months to even get started, right? Have I arrived? Absolutely not. I still got some work to do, but there's definitely a momentum that kickstarts once you step into that. So talk to me about how important coaching is.
Coaching is everything. Mentorship, having the right mentor, you can change your life. I'll tell a quick story because I'm big on storytelling, so I can help connect the dots in people's mind. When I was 17 years old, I got my first quote unquote real job. Before that, I had been a waiter at an Indian restaurant for like 3 months, but this is my first real job. I became a cashier at a store called CompUSA, a big technology store at the time. And I was so happy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make $7.50 an hour here. Yay. And I don't have to worry about getting tips and being dependent on that. They also allowed you to earn a spiff, $1 or $2 based on the extended warranties that we would sell on our tech products. First sales job, technically. First, experience with selling besides my lemonade stands. And I learned how to do it at a high level because one of my friends who got hired in with me, he was killing it. And he found a couple of different phrases or ways of saying certain things to show people the value of our extended warranty. So he was killing it with sales and earning decent money doing it. So he taught me what he was doing, showed me what he was saying, told me, say it exactly like this, pause here, use this type of tone. It'll work. You can show people the value of this and you'll do well. Thanks to him, I emulated it, put my own little spin on it, but I did really well with the sales. I did so well that within, I think about 6 months, I was promoted to the sales team, our actual sales team. So now I got to sell the computers, sell the laptops. I got a raise, in my hourly. Plus I got to earn much bigger commissions because we're selling like higher end tech products. So I got pieces of the pie, so to speak. And my mentor at that time was our assistant store manager, John Jordan. I still talk to him after 20 years. We still talk all the time.
I love that.
He's amazing. He was my first true mentor. He encouraged me to read various sales books, learn on human psychology. I took a psychology class in community college because of him. He encouraged me to do that. He just taught me so much, man. He taught me so much about people and connecting with people and making friends, building rapport, not just about closing the deal. He taught me how to be a more thoughtful, strategic man. If it wasn't for him, that was like the first time I really felt in my life that I could be, and I tell him this all the time, that I really felt like I could excel at something besides just sports. I finally felt like, okay, if I stay loyal to this thing and I keep learning and I keep working hard and I keep pushing myself, I can do this and it can help me have a better life. This could be a ticket to a better life for me and my family. I can do this thing. I can do this sales thing. If it wasn't for him, I don't know. I don't know if I would have stayed in the game for 20 years. I don't know if I'd be doing what I'm doing now. I don't know if I ever would have really found the value in sales. I deploy sales strategies every single day, and I don't mean to, because it's all about communication. It's about building rapport.
Yeah.
It's about getting people to trust you and showing them that you're a good person, offering value, being thoughtful, building connections, building relationships. This has been every day of my life ever since that. Even with dating, meeting my wife, the way I treat my son, my friendships, everything, let alone the stuff I do in my business. So yeah, that's why I take mentorship so seriously. I've had coaches, all along the way. I had one just as recently, just a few months ago, to help me learn new organic lead generation methods and strategies, help me learn new sales strategies and different things I can use, for my own clients to help them. I take mentorship very seriously and I know the value of it. You can do it all on your own. Many times I have, and you can make all the mistakes yourself and spend a bunch of time trying to course correct and learn from it. Or you can speed up that process and have someone that actually has done it before, been there, done that, teach you the right ways of doing it, so you can, shorten the runway of how long it's going to take you to get this type of success that you're hoping for. I'm a firm believer in that. Why would you not have a mentor? It's everything. It's changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Oh my goodness. I love that. And I can totally attest to that. Like I said, I wish I would have started many moons ago. And just thinking back now, I did have certain people I looked up to that were doing things that I wanted to do today, that I am able to do today, but I never paid attention then. I was just in my own world, had no direction, just really didn't see. I know I wanted it, but I didn't want to do the work. So just having that self-awareness and finding that at some point in your life, you're going to get that aha moment and you're going to get that desire. You're going to get that itch, that push to say, do something now. Don't ignore that. Do not ignore that. That is the biggest confirmation that you're going to be led in the direction that you need to be led, but also attached to the idea of getting into spaces, into rooms, into connections with people that have done what you're seeking to do, so that you can excel and tighten that gap. Let's talk about the copywriting. So what is it that you offer? How can people get a hold of you? How can you support them through their journey? Your ideal client, share that with us.
Yeah. So my ideal client is typically they're solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small to medium business owners that want help with organic lead generation. Everything I do is organic. We don't do paid ads or paying for anything when it comes to acquiring customers. So organic lead generation, they want sales training, sales coaching to help, get more of their ideal clients into their world, into their funnels, into just knowing about them and being aware of what they're doing. so they can get more of these customers to want to work with them. Also, if they're looking for, sometimes people want to learn to fish for themselves. So if they don't just want me ghostwriting and doing all their social media captions for them, or their keyword-rich blog posts or keyword-rich thought leadership articles, website copy, website messaging, all this other stuff, if they want to learn how to do it, we do copywriting coaching here too. So I have a copywriting fundamentals course that they can learn at their own leisure and go through the process of understanding different frameworks, strategies, ways of deploying different copywriting methodologies to attract more of their ideal clients and tell the right story, right, in a powerful, attractive type of way. There's several different things that I offer, again, with the sales training, organic lead generation, copywriting, done for you, copywriting, assets and stuff that I can create for you depending on what you need for your business. There's lots of different ways to get a hold of me. I can throw it right in this chat. I'll put my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my website, and my email address here. There we go. So this can be for your folks that want to reach out to me. Those are pretty much like some of the best ways to get a hold of me is, LinkedIn, Facebook, my company's website, and my personal email address. Whatever questions you have, I'm happy to discuss it, happy to, jump on a call and walk through your needs and offer, my assistance. There's a ton of stuff I can do, ton of stuff that you can do on your own that I can coach on so you can fish for yourself. It really just depends on what you're looking for. And I'm happy to help, Again, I try to genuinely be the person that I either wish I always had, in my corner, or the person that I've had before, but I wish I would have had them for longer, or I wish I would have met them earlier in life, because they probably would have saved me a lot of heartache and a lot of pain and agony and mistakes that I made because I genuinely didn't know better. I didn't have the resources or the wherewithal, and sometimes I didn't have the maturity needed or the clarity needed to actually make the thing happen. But I have it now. So I try to be, that person for anybody that wants to work with me and give me a chance.
That is so awesome. And are you grateful that you kind of went through what you went through to get to where you're at today?
Yeah, maybe in that moment, no.
Of course, we're not in the moment, never.
Yeah.
Find out why after the fact.
Yeah,
I will bring that question up very strategically because a lot of people that I hear from, they never realized why they went through what they went through until they had that moment of just self-reflection. But are they grateful that they went through the process? Because really the process is the joy when hitting success.
Yeah, it's everything. I think I'm a firm believer that everything that happens to us, when it happens to us, is happening because you're the only one in that moment that can handle that. That's why it's happening. And now it's up to you to feel that way. It's up to you to respond to it that way. I think I felt sorry for myself because I do feel that the ability to feel sorry for yourself and get down on yourself, I view it as a privilege. Many of us don't have that privilege. I didn't. I felt sorry for myself when I lost this last job and the way I was treated there for the entire time I worked there. I felt sorry for myself for all of about 5 minutes after that. The call with my boss happened to let me know that I was going to be losing my job, effective, pretty much immediately. It took about 5 minutes, and I said, "Okay, this is terrible. This is the third time this is happening to me. I'm not sure how I'm going to explain this one to my wife again for the third time." A lot of negative thoughts again for maybe 5 minutes. And then I said, okay, I got my LLC for this exact reason, December 27th. I saw the writing on the wall. No one should be surprised here. This is terrible. What are you going to do about it? And so I immediately started telling everyone in my network about my business idea, how I'm going to be doing my launch, very, very soon. January 12th was when I lost my job. I did my launch, I think, on like January 23rd. Not even. It was not even a week later, actually, now that I think about it. It was like 4 days later. So I think January 16th was when I made my launch. Rallied my website design team. Later that same day, I said, I need this website done tomorrow. You guys are almost done. I know you're right there, but I just lost my job a few hours ago. I need this done tomorrow. And so they got it done. They were amazing. Shout out to RJ and Tiffany. They're incredible. And yeah, I looked it over. We fixed a couple of little things here and there. And 3 days after that, I did my business launch. And I won't say that I've arrived, because when do we ever arrive? When are we ever at the summit, right? Or at the top of the mountain? But in the not even, it hasn't even been 3 full months. I'm looking at my calendar. I've already landed 5 clients. I know there's 2 or 3 more that have already told me yes. Within these next couple of weeks, once we lock down an actual start date with them, they'll be coming on board too, to join me and my company and be on my client roster. I'm not any smarter than anyone else out there that's watching. I'm not any better than you. I might not even work all that much harder than you do. Many of you are doing a lot of things. You have a lot on your plate. So I'm not going to say that I'm like special. I'm not special. Who I am is someone that just had enough, just couldn't take it anymore. And I got fed up of the excuses that I had been making for a little while. I jumped all into my business. I viewed every person that I was speaking to and every opportunity that came itself as just an opportunity to do better, to be better, to help someone, to be useful, to be valuable. I talk about that all the time. I'm trying to be useful. I'm not just trying to take up space here. And people appreciate that. They appreciate when you're actually genuinely trying to help them. That's why I've had the success I've had in such a short amount of time. It's not because I'm better than you. It's because I know who I've been since I've been 6 years old. I know what I wanted to do. I'm doing it now. And I just got tired. I just got tired of being disrespected and mistreated. And when enough is enough, and the cost of you continuing on your path, when the cost of that is dramatically worse than you actually making a change and stepping out of your comfort zone, you will do what is necessary too. You will get to that point that I'm at, where you don't really care what it's going to take. You're just going to do whatever is necessary. Because you know the cost of doing nothing. You know the cost of allowing things to continue the way that they've been going, and it's awful, and you don't want it anymore. So you'll do what is necessary. Until you get to that point, it might just be more of the same, honestly, because things aren't that bad for you yet. So it's up to you. If you view it as an opportunity or as a poor me type of situation, it's all up to you.
That is so powerful. And I also can absolutely relate to when enough is enough. And when God tells you, if not now, when, answer that call. Answer that call and take action and make the moves. Even if it's a slow and steady pacing, you just do it, right? You don't have to worry about, running at 50 miles per hour. No, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about just reflecting, finding that decision, making up your mind and taking action and getting out of your comfort zone, which we talked about. That's huge. A lot of people are just so comfortable where they're not happy, and they're actually not comfortable in their comfortable spot. Let's just make it real. Yeah, we are not comfortable with the crap that we're going through. And we know we have the answers. We have the opportunities laying right there in front of us. When are we going to go and reach out and grab the opportunities that are around us that people are so ready to give, right? Yeah. Just all of that good stuff. You're absolutely amazing, Brian. We're definitely going to have another catch-up call. I know one of my ladies has connected with you, and you will be working with her very, very soon. Shout out
Gigi?
to Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Gigi's my girl. I love her. Yeah, I love her. She's a wonderful person.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to do great things together as well. And I'm just super excited to know you. I am super excited to have you in my corner and me in yours. I can't wait to see how else we can continue to support each other. Your story is just so powerful. It's like, I can relate again to just having the tribe, like the family, the cousins right there, but still feeling like when you're going to new schools and new places, trying to really make those connections. And when you do make them, then you're moving to another spot that probably hasn't happened to you. But we're still a work in progress until our last breath. We never arrive. All we do is we invest. We've made the decision to invest in ourselves, invest in our purpose, and give that back and out there to the world, and and impact. It's really about impacting and seeing people grow along the way as you're growing, right? And you don't have to have it perfect. It doesn't have to be right on the spot. Like literally you made a decision in 4 days. I build my coaching program in 48 hours. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Go get it.
Just
Probably 48 hours too long, honestly.
agreed. I think 2 years overdue.
Yeah,
But
right.
all good stuff. It happened, and even if it does take that long, it is okay to take the action. You have been an absolute joy to again speak to and bring some value to this community. I'll give you the last minute to close us out.
Yeah.
What do you want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, I think in the most traumatic of events and when the worst things happen to you, that is exactly when you receive the most clarity in your life. A lot of the other nonsense that you thought was important that was happening to you, they tend to fade into the background, and you start getting crystal clear on what you need to do for your health, what you need to do for your family. For me, it was my business. What specific activities do I need to move up the chart and call them mission critical? Because this is a lot more important than my favorite TV show or this nonsense I'm dealing with my friend or whatever. You will not believe how much clarity you get in your own life. And everywhere you go, every person you speak to or you get to interact with, all of a sudden everything is coming to the forefront of, wait a minute, I can help this person and here's how. Because all these other distractions are not eating away at your bandwidth and your mental capacity and weighing on your heart needlessly. So with that clarity, truly will come success, because your thoughts will change, the way you feel about yourself and the way you feel about the world around you will change, the way you treat other people ends up changing, and then here come the results, right? Here comes the quote unquote success that's going to accompany all of that. But that clarity has to come first. And for a lot of you, I genuinely hope that you get to the point where you just say, enough is enough. I know I can do better than this. Now, how? What are the skills and strategies I need to learn and harness so I can actually do this thing that I want to do and accomplish it? And I hope I get to play a small part in that. I would love to help. I'd love to be a part of it. It'd mean a lot to me.
Awesome. And the common denominator there is change. We have to change. If we're going through that same cycle over and over, and we are not making the shifts that we need in our life, then the first common denominator you have to do is change. And with change will come results and success. I'm a walking testimony. I can see that Brian and everyone that has been on this platform has definitely showcased that and shared that. And that's what we continue to bring here to Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. Thank you again, Brian. Thank you for our viewers, our listeners, for joining in on this amazing interview. I'm so excited. What's to come. Have all a great day. Blessings. And as I always say, make it count. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, everyone. Bye.